Listen closely, for this is the story of a world that stumbled into catastrophe. The year was 1914. Europe stood proud, glittering with empires, crowned with kings, and brimming with confidence in its own progress. The industrial age had given mankind machines of power and precision, railways that stitched nations together, and weapons more deadly than any seen before. Yet beneath the surface of this modern world lay rivalries, ambitions, and fears that would soon ignite into the most devastating conflict humanity had ever known. It began with a single shot. In Sarajevo, the heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, Archduke Franz Ferdinand, was assassinated. A moment of violence in a Balkan street became the spark that set the world ablaze. Austria-Hungary demanded vengeance. Serbia braced for punishment. And across Europe, alliances and treaties pulled nations into the storm. Germany stood beside Austria-Hungary. Russia rose to defend Serbia. France prepared to honor its pact with Russia. Britain, hesitant at first, would be drawn in when German armies marched through neutral Belgium. Within weeks, the continent was at war. Millions of men, young and old, marched with pride, believing they would be home by Christmas. They sang songs of glory as trains carried them to the front. But the war they entered was unlike any war before. The clash of armies was swift and brutal. In the fields of Belgium and northern France, German forces surged forward, their advance seemingly unstoppable. Yet at the Marne, French and British troops held the line. The German dream of a quick victory collapsed, and the war settled into a grim stalemate. Trenches scarred the earth. From the North Sea to Switzerland, soldiers dug deep into mud and misery, carving out a new kind of battlefield. Life in the trenches was hell. Rats scurried through the filth. The stench of death lingered in the air. Soldiers endured endless bombardments, the whistle of shells overhead, and the constant fear of sudden attack. And then came the weapons of terror. Machine guns cut down waves of men in seconds. Artillery shattered bodies and landscapes alike. Poison gas crept silently across the battlefield, burning lungs and blinding eyes. The war was no longer about honor or glory, it was about survival in a world of mechanized slaughter. Yet even in this darkness, courage shone. Men fought not for empires or kings, but for the comrades beside them. Letters home carried words of longing, of hope, of despair. Families waited, praying for news, dreading the telegram that might announce a loved one's death. The Great War was more than battles, it was a transformation of the world itself. Empires strained under the weight of war. Economies faltered. Societies changed. Women stepped into factories, filling roles left vacant by men at the front. The old order of Europe was beginning to crumble, though few could yet see how far the collapse would reach. This was only the beginning. The war would rage for 4 long years, consuming millions of lives, reshaping nations, and leaving scars that would never heal. But in 1914, as the guns thundered and the trenches filled, the world still believed it was fighting for victory, for honor, for survival. The Great War had begun.